welcome back to my channel. My name is Victoria, and this week we are doing something a little bit different. I'm going to be adapting the book Legends Lattes into a D&D one-shot that I'm going to be doing for a new convention here in Dallas. I am posting this after the convention because I don't want to spoil anything for any person who happens to find me online prior to actually playing the game, so I just wanted to keep it all under wraps until then. Trying to think of how to build a cozy D&D adventure. So I am going to be adapting, excuse me, I have to take this call. Okay, so anyway, yes, I'm adapting this lovely book called Tea Time Adventures. So this has a couple of short campaigns that you can run with your D&D group. It's by Snowbright Studios. This is the word I'm looking for. A handbook, a campaign book that would give me a lot of that cozy vibes. And if you can see here, I mean, look at them with the pies and the little hats and their dresses, and there's all these cute little foods, and they have recipes in here. This is played in D&D 1E, which is different than the play style that we are playing in for the convention. So the convention is going to be played in 5E, which is what currently D&D games are played in. So I do have to adapt this to be used in a 5E system, which I feel like will be pretty easy because since this isn't going to have a lot of battles in it, I'm not going to have to worry as much about the mechanics of this. So I'm essentially going to be implanting some D&D 5E adventures into this little cozy world that they've built out. So in this world, as it says, it's the Verdant Isles role-playing game. So they have this all laid out here, and I will make sure to show you all of the cute things. But they have the whole world built here, and all of the adventures they actually have in this book takes place in the village of Oak Bend. And as I mentioned, they have a couple different spooky adventures, little cute adventures, cozy adventures of you meeting all of the cast of characters that they have in this town. But in addition to that, you could use this core rule book to create your own adventures. So they give you the ability to make types of characters who live in the Verdant Isles. You have the ability to see the magic systems that they have and kind of build your own characters and be able to have a full-on little cozy adventure with your friends. So again, highly recommend. I haven't even played it yet, but it's so cute. And as I mentioned as well, they even have cute little recipes in this book to go along with the different adventures, because they do have different festivals in this village, and so each festival, you know, will have like certain things that you might want to use. So we are going to be adapting a 1 to 3 tea infused session option that they have in here, because this is going to be a one-shot. And for those of you who aren't familiar with what a one-shot is, it is like it sounds. So this is an adventure that you hopefully can complete in one playthrough. I only have a 3-hour session, so sometimes when you're doing that, you do have to kind of move things along a little bit just to make sure that everything is moving smoothly enough that we can have a conclusion to the end of the, oh, here's the other one. But that's not what we're doing. To the end of the game, to the end of the session. So you want to have a full and complete ending. The game that I'm going to be adapting is called The Lavender Spirit, and the reason I picked this one is, first, it has to do with the sessions that it takes adventurers to typically get through this story. And there were only 2 in there that are 1 to 3 tea infused adventures. And if you've read Legends Lattes, which I'm sure many of you have, if you are in the booktube space, you will know there is a character in Legends Lattes by the name of Thimble, and Thimble is a baking rat person. I forget the exact term they use here. Ratkin. Oh my gosh, that took too long to find. Okay, so I thought the perfect way to tie in this world of the Verdant Isles to the story of Legends and Lattes is through Thimble, who is the rat person, the ratkin as is referred to in the book, and he is the illustrious, fantastic baker of all the tasty things that we have described in this book. And I thought, wouldn't it make sense if Thimble was from the village of Oakbend, which has a bunch of anthropomorphic people who live in this little town? So I use that as a starting off point of how do we connect Thimble to this town, and how do we get our group of adventurers from the Legend and Lattes cafe in Thune, where the cafe is located, to the village of Oakbend. This adventure is perfect as well because this adventure takes place during the Feast of Flourish, which the Feast of Flourish welcomes in spring. So since this is taking place a week after essentially spring has officially started, I thought this would be a perfect little adventure. As typical for a campaign that you would find in one of these books, it'll have like a timeline of the background to let the GM know kind of what was going on and establish that history for themselves as they're kind of coloring this for the players and they're going through and trying to solve this mystery. So let's set the scene of this. So at long last, winter has run its course and the earth is ready to bloom once more. The Feast of Flourish nears, a time for gathering outside to sow, share, and celebrate. The villagers of Oakbend look forward to this time of year for the promise of what is to come and the memories of what has come before. However, the pleasantness of this traditional holiday has been marred by a series of mysterious plantings. All across town, a strange crystalline flower has started to blossom out of small mounds that appear overnight. Where do these flowers come from, and how can they be spreading so rapidly? Even worse, there is talk now of a restless spirit at work. Can the village put their concerns aside and still celebrate the Feast of Flourish to welcome in a good harvest for the year? Or will their fears of the unknown get the better of them? So this adventure is about discovering and celebrating the history behind our traditions, even when the answers may confuse and scare us. Kind of jumping off point, I thought that I would use Thimble as the character who gets a letter from perhaps his family or his friends in the village of Oakbend. Maybe he's planning to go home for the Feast of Flourish, and our adventurers, have come into Legends of Lattes. They've heard of the strange coffee in Thune and want to try it out. So while they're sitting there, they hear Thimble, sharing details, even though he doesn't talk very much. So I'm going to have like a tangible letter that he can share with Viv and Tandri, and then perhaps move over, see this adventuring group. Obviously, Viv was part of an adventuring party prior to opening her cafe, so she would be familiar with how to hire adventurers. And seeing them sitting in her cafe, she might suggest that Thimble employ these adventurers to go and help solve this spiritual problem. Hello! So it has been a couple of days since we last spoke, and as you can see, we are at the kitchen table. It's a little dark. I'm trying to make it as light as possible, but there's like no light in here, no windows, so we're doing our best. But I wanted to give you, there's a hair on here. I want to give you some updates because we are just one day away, less than a day realistically, from our D&D adventure. And so I've got a couple things that I need to finish up that I wanted to kind of take you with me through and open some things. I went to the convention earlier today to just kind of check things out, and I looked at some of the vendors and things like that. And so I picked up a couple of fun mystery things. So I thought it would be fun to open that with you and then walk through what we're going to be doing today. So that's what we're going to do first. Let's do the fun stuff first. So we're going to open up some mystery bags. So let's go ahead and grab those. First thing that we have here is I have some stickers I will show you. Look at this one. It says, bless your heart, darling. And yes, that is a Starion in a little cowboy hat. So I thought that was just so precious. So had to grab that. And then I also got these cute little dice mushrooms as well from the same artist. Super, super cute. And then we got some mystery earrings. So let's go ahead and open them. I saved this for you all. So we got some mystery earrings. So I'm going to open that for you. They're kitties! Aww! Can you see them? Is it too dark? Can you see? Try this way. My goodness, so stinking cute. So I got this for $5. I think I picked up her card possibly, so I will put it in the link, but so stinking cute, so excited. And then we grabbed a little mystery bag. So let me zoom you back out so we can see a little better. I guess I could just I don't know if the clip will work. We'll see. We shall see. Probably just gonna get who knows. But okay, so we have this mystery bag here. So first thing that came in every mystery bag is this little tracker. They're all 3D printed little trackers here, and so you can track your health or your gold, and you can see you can clip it around. It's got nice clippies. Ta-da! That's first. And we also got it's a little timeout chair for our dice that misbehaved. Very cute. And then, it's a keychain, a little sword. Seems a little, the only thing that would be a trouble is I feel like this would fall out, you know what I mean? But it's I feel like it's a little letter opener in here. I don't know. You can see it. Let's try to zoom in a little bit. Okay, and then we have a dice set. Blue. Oh, shit. Okay, and last, but certainly not least, oh, we got a little pin with the treasures. Very nice. Super fun. Woo! Okay, awesome. So we'll see. Okay, so first things first, and I think I will show it on the screen. I took a little screenshot of it as well, but I did a full like little outline for our one shot. So I've printed it out. So I printed it out, and a lot of it is just notes for myself to kind of help me continue to move along the story and make sure that there's certain things I don't miss as we're going throughout this one shot. And I also pulled direct descriptions from the book. So I created some things that would be nice and tactile for my group that I have to cut out. So these are some things that we have to do, but we have finished them. But I made this little note here, and this note is basically our first kind of hook for our adventurers to travel to the village of Oakenbend, where this one shot takes place. In addition to that, I also created, I needed a maze, so I'm gonna have to cut this out so the characters can use this maze for like the last half of it. I got some other little items that I just cut out to add into the maze, and then this is for one of the clues that they would get when they find this book. So there's a little book that's supposed to have pages torn out of it, so I created this tiny little book here with the pages, the torn out ones, and some additional loose pages that are hints for the adventurers. So I'm gonna cut all of those out today and get them all organized and looking cute. And then finally, we had a mansion, and I typically play online, so I don't have like a ton of stuff for tabletop, like for in-person tabletop. So I actually made this on Canva. I know it looks really silly, but I'm thinking I'm going to cut, so it's laminated because they didn't have a cardstock for the 11 by 17 paper. So I'm debating whether I just keep the laminated parts and use them as a whole, or if I go ahead and cut out the white and then use them on some of my boards that I have. I just am worried about the seal of the laminate if I cut them, so I feel like perhaps it would just be easier to use them like this, because we're not too worried about movement in here. Since this is a cozy fantasy, there's not going to be a lot of fighting, especially as they're exploring this house. So I'm thinking I'm probably just gonna leave these as is, even though they do look kind of funny, but hey, we made do with what we had, and it works. It works. So that's that. In addition to that, because I always like to be a little extra, I have picked up some things from Amazon as well. So I picked up, if you've read Legends and Lattes, hold on, it's gonna make a lot of noise. So if you've read Legends and Lattes, you know that there is the sign for the Legends and Lattes cafe, and so I picked up these little tiny signs that they had on Amazon. And what I'm gonna do is I got some 2-in-1 stain for the wood to give it a little more of like a wood-like feel, and then I'm going to paint Legends and Lattes on here to make a little sign for us to have up at the table. And at the end of the book, Cal ends up taking Viv's old sword, and they break it down and put it in the sign, like emboss it into the wood. And so I grabbed these cute little swords off of Amazon, and I'm thinking of gluing one, probably with like hot glue or something, onto the sign to have that little extra thing. And I thought it'd be fun, I'd just keep it afterwards and have like a cute little thing. So we're gonna make that. That's probably what we're first going to do, is stain that wood. And then on top of that, hold on, we'll have to open this box here. Where did my scissors go? On top of that, I wanted to make the sign that, oh, hi Pompins. Hello, what's your tail? What's it doing? Hanging out? I have they have like their sign with all of the coffee things that are available. And so and they're on little slates. And so they had these cute, are you ready to see them? Look how cute. So they have these cute tiny little signs, those little slate signs. And I was gonna take chalk paint and make each one of my players a little Legends and Lattes sign. The only thing I'm worried about is how to get the paint to stay on. I have that Mod Podge spray, so I was thinking that I would do that. And they even come with little stands as well. This was all a little kit on Amazon. I got it for like 12 bucks. And yeah, it comes with these little chalk markers here. Got these little chalk markers. And then we got a little wipes here that you can actually wipe it off. Oh, that's nice. This feels nice. So this all came as a little kit. So I was gonna make those as well as like a little take home thanks for playing with me kind of surprise for the peoples. So I thought that would be super cute. So that's what we're gonna finish up today. We're gonna get those done so we can go to dance tonight and do a little karaoke afterwards with some of my friends. So I think we will go ahead and stain the shield first. That way we can let it dry so we can paint it. And then I think I will work on those signs. So that is where we're gonna start. And I will check back in with you all later. freaking good. Okay. We're done. We did it. We have done our first one shot for a crowd of strangers at a convention, and it was so much fun. So I think I mentioned that I did Legends and Lattes inspired one shot at FakeCon, which is a new convention that just had its inaugural convention day. It's its first year of doing the convention, and so that was this past weekend, and I hosted a Legends and Lattes inspired cozy adventure fantasy one shot at 9 a.m. on Saturday, which was pretty rough because I went karaokeing with some of my friends on Friday night and we stayed out super late. So it was a little bit of a struggle bus, but the great thing was, because this is cozy fantasy, I didn't have any combat in the game, so it made it a lot easier as myself as a GM to track everything that was going on. But I know last we left off, before my camera died, we were working on some props for the game, and so I thought I wanted to just wrap this up with my final thoughts and some things that I'm hoping I can do in the future, and also show you all of the finished products that are still able to be shown at this point in time. So as you would have seen, I'm super proud of myself on this one. I made my own Legends and Lattes sign. Not sure where it's gonna go yet, but I'm very excited. I have 2 more of these, so who knows, maybe I will make 2 more and like do some kind of raffle thing at some point with like comments and send you a lovely little Legends and Lattes sign to put in your own bookish area on your bookshelves or in your home. If that sounds like of an interest to you, let me know, because I'd be happy to do that. Like I said, I have 2 or more of these, so, and a lot of these tiny little swords, so I can definitely make 2 more, and you know, maybe if some 2 lucky people would like some, I can happily send them to you. We'd be happy to do so. So that was first, and then I said I was going to make 6 of these and give them to everybody, and everybody who came to my one shot, I am so sorry, but this took so long, and only 2 people at my one shot had actually read Legends and Lattes, so I feel like not everybody would have appreciated it quite as much as they would have, just because they hadn't read the book. But this is the final board. So if you've read Legends and Lattes after they reopen the coffee shop, this is the sign that Tandri makes. It took me multiple tries to get all of that information onto this very small board. This is my hand, and this is the size of the board. So it was a lot of things, but I still have 5 more of these, so I don't know what I can make with them later on, but I have them now in my crafts. And it's got a little stand, so now I can put this on my bookshelf and have my own little Legends and Lattes coffee menu to stare at and smile at. So I was happy with that, and the 2 girls who had read Legends and Lattes were so excited to see this little menu, so I was really excited to provide that for them as well. Okay. So those were the 2 items that we made that were very Legends and Lattes inspired. The rest of the items that we made actually had to do with the campaign itself. So, oops, I lost one. So there were a lot of loose pages that were used, and since we were in a large space where it was harder to hear, especially for people who are at the end of the table, I kind of wanted to make sure that I had these written items so that they could share them, and it wasn't putting so much of a strain on me to try to read them loud enough and make sure that everybody was able to follow along. So if you are in a similar situation where you are hosting a game and maybe you're doing it at a convention where there are going to be a lot of people running games at the same time, I would recommend recommend at least printing out some of those things that you're writing so you can share it with your table. This way it's just a little easier. It's going to put less strain on you as a GM to have to read those aloud and make sure that everybody can hear them, and then they can also reference back to them, and it just adds a little bit of fun. People really enjoyed them. I made my own cold brew. And then I did make some maps. I am not a good map maker when it comes to D&D. That is not my forte, but I just made these quickly on Canva and got them laminated just so they had like some points of reference for the mansion that they went into, and just had like some images. And then I think I showed you that we had a maze that was just out of paper, and I actually put that on top of another map just to bring things around. So when I took it off, it kind of got messed up, so I won't show that to you, but I did have that as well as just like an easy way to manipulate it, and it made it easier. Sometimes you just make do with what you have. Like you are playing home games or even doing things at conventions, that it is a-okay if you don't have minis, if you don't have like 3D printed items for your maps and things like that. Like you can still make the experience really fun with some easy things that you can make online. Like I said, I think making items brings a lot of that reality into your games, and I think just having some visuals will help without needing to have all of those things. And when it comes to minis too, I should link these, but they're super cute. Let me go grab one. These are really great. I got these on Amazon when I was doing a home game in person, and they have like 30 different minis. I'll have to see, I'll link it down below because I think these are great. They're so super cute. So let me just show you what one of them looks like. Love so much. You have the front and the back, and then there's the little coin here. And you can paint these. I haven't painted any of them. Maybe we'll do that for fun. That could be a really fun little thing to do. You don't even need minis. I also have these plastic, like clear plastic circles that are in different sizes. I got those on Amazon too, and you can use those for combat. And what's great is you can write on them in whiteboard pens, whiteboard markers, and then erase them off. So you can put conditions on them, you can do all of that, and it makes it really flexible for you to be able to have different types of combats without needing to invest in a ton of minis and things like that, because that can get really expensive. Of course, you can use paper, you can use all different things, but I think these were all really inexpensive tools that I bought when we started our home campaign, and it made it a little easier to keep things organized, but they weren't super expensive, and they were very flexible, so you could use them in a lot of different situations, which is fantastic. So if anybody's interested, I'd be happy to do at some point maybe like a home games guide to finding some items to make life easier. All that said, I think I showed you this, but I did make an outline. I didn't end up using it as much as I thought I would, but what I think is great with making outlines like these is it just forces you to really read through the story beforehand, and also sometimes you kind of get distracted in role playing and things like that, and it allows you to get a quick glance of what you need to be doing. So if anybody is interested in grabbing the Tea Time Adventures core rulebook here with these little adventures, I would be happy to send my little cheat sheet your way with the additions of Legends and Lattes, so you could use that and have your own little one-shot Legends and Lattes campaign. I would be happy to link that and make that accessible with people and send that your way, because I'd love to see if people really had fun. I know that the people at my table had a great time, and and I want to do it again. I hope I will get this opportunity again. I would love to bring more cozy games to other conventions, so if there are other conventions that are looking for people to run tabletop and people want to do a cozy tabletop game, I would be so happy to do that because this was so much fun. I think it's a really accessible way to do tabletop, and I think also if you're looking for something that is just gonna be silly, bring a silly character and meet cute little characters and just have a cozy little time, I would love to host a game. I've thought about, I was on Gavin's stream a couple days ago, and we were talking about D&D, and I had been working on this, and I would love. So if any of you booktubers are out there, like, I've heard of D&D, I'm not sure if I want to D&D, but I'd be interested in it, and you are a cozy fantasy girly, hit me up. I would love to do a live stream one-shot for all of the beautiful people on the internet and kind of walk you through how to play D&D and just do something that's both bookish and nerdish and bring a little tabletop cozy fun to this side of the internet. So if you're watching this and you're interested in that, if you happen to be, let me know. Would love to do it. Would love to do that for you. So with that, I know this was a little bit all different from some of the content we've been doing recently, but I hope you enjoyed this video, had a good time. Feel free to give this video a thumbs up, and if you made it all the way to here, let's go ahead and either put like a frog emoji or maybe like a little alligator or some kind of cute animal emoji down in the comments for our Teen Titans Adventures from Snowbright Studios. If you are enjoying this Bookish and Nerds content, I would love for you to stick around. Feel free to subscribe. I upload every Sundays and sometimes on Wednesdays. And until next time, I hope that you read a good book. I hope you find some joy. And most importantly, I hope that you do something to make the world a better place. And I will see you in my next one. Bye!